Hi friends, today I wanted to talk about a random idea I had, uh, and that idea is maybe trying to think of a way to create a culture that promotes lifetime employment. Um, Lifetime employment in general is a business culture that has existed in Japan for a while, and it's where someone joins a company after graduating college or high school and then stay there for the rest of their life. And there are still many companies that have essence of it or still maintain it, I think, even within Japan, including the company I work at now. Um, and having grown up in the States in a very liberal college, I guess. I don't know if, anti lifetime employment even relates to liberal college. It probably doesn't. So maybe I shouldn't have said that. But for me, my values originally were was where it's important for people to experience different work cultures and see different worlds pretty much so that they could understand and get a better picture of what it is that exists firstly and what works for them and what doesn't. And I think it's important to grow as a person through experiencing different cultures, business cultures too, or just any culture in general. And so this concept of staying in one company for the rest of your life did not vibe with me. If that's the right word, I think. It didn't. I just never liked the concept. Uh, but then again, maybe that thought process is one of privilege, maybe, where you know I have had the privilege to kind of get enough education or at least be safe enough financially in life that I could be fine with going around to different companies and not worry about my welfare. Because I know there are people out there who join a company but they could never kind of leave because they just can't afford to due to circumstances. So I don't know. Maybe that is a privileged thought process. But, anyways, and now that I've joined my family company, it means that I'll be here ideally for the rest of my life. And it's really kind of made me rethink about how I should or need to look at a company and how a lifetime employment company adjusts the way you perceive different values or experience time almost. And excuse me, I guess I've only been in the company for a month and a half, and so I'm probably overthinking things, but I'm, I feel like I'm starting to get my brain's starting to slowly process this concept and I'm starting to see things differently too. Um, and it's making me kind of think about the future, about the employees that are working with right now, the culture of the company. How do I change it? And what do I keep? And what is it that I need to think about? Because excuse me, I think, I mean, firstly, I definitely feel like there's a smaller trend where companies are trying to switch over to figuring out how to maintain their employees as long as possible. And also, the manufacturing industry in itself, I feel like it's kind of more common for employees to work at that company for most of their life. I might be wrong, but that at least that's kind of my perception within the manufacturing industry. And so, looking at these trends and also my feeling within the company in which I'm trying to start to think about how would I want people to stay as long as possible. Um, that has kind of brought me back to re-looking at the concept and values that are born from this lifetime employment concept, and how it, yeah, definitely creates new values and ways of experiencing your work career. And I guess I already said this, but time in general. So yeah, and it my brain's going in so many different directions. Anyways, yeah, to the point. So I feel that one thing that I initially didn't disliked about lifetime employment, at least the ones I've seen, is that it promotes seniority and age as a measuring system for and that ranks people higher based off of those two criterias. And ideally, it should be based off of merit in my mind. And it's not like I don't think, these cultures don't promote merit at all, but, sometimes I feel like it may promote seniority and age a little too much. And people just sit on their laurels, or they just don't do anything but just wait. But then again, like, maybe what that kind of culture promotes are valuing and commending people for variables that aren't measurable right now. And what I mean by that is that to be able to have people that are able to kind of manage long-term relationships to this extent that, goes to lifetime employment, like for 30, 40 years. I feel like there are variables in the background that aren't measurable, like KPIs of, profitability and output and, number of products or number of likes, or, the measurable things. It's kind of like trying to measure many of the variables behind diversity inclusion, and why it was so difficult 10 years ago to promote diversity inclusion, because it was hard. There wasn't enough data to connect it to profitability of the company. Now it's slowly changed. I think there's more historical data that is able to correlate to diversity factors, but at the same time, I still think there are so much variables that are still not able to measure, that needs to be kind of respected or recognized based off of long-term sustainability of a culture with people that are together for decades. Because if it's, I feel like it's easier to maintain a relationship that will only last 3 to 5 years, maybe, or 10 years. But I think it's that much more difficult to figure out how to maintain a professional relationship for decades, and 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 all of the factors that come into play throughout all those years, and all that time you've invested into the company of your life. And in that sense, maybe there is value in kind of rewarding almost seniority and age within a company. So maybe I'm leaning more towards seniority within a company. But I don't know. These are just my initial thoughts, and I just, what I started to think about today, based off of some conversations. But I feel that there may be some interesting ideas hidden within the concepts and values that were established through lifetime employment. And so I guess I'm gonna try to keep thinking about it, and find ways to promote it in a more modern, up-to-date manner that also balances with the sustainability of a company, which may or may not prioritize profitability, because the current me, I feel like, won't prioritize profitability. And that's another good thing about being a private company, is that I don't have to listen to the shareholders as much. I don't think. I know I simplified that too much, but I still have a lot more room for control. At least that's my understanding, my naive understanding right now. Anyways, I think I've blabbered enough. Thanks for listening as always, and I'll catch you guys up with more fantastic ideas and thoughts and wanderings of my brain. Ciao.